It's a time-honored boxing truism that styles make fights. 6 months ago in New York, that adage again proved correct. Sugar Shane Mosley arrived in the Big Apple with a 38-0 record and not much left to prove. After having beaten Oscar De La Hoya, Mosley ranked unofficially as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. His opponent, 7-1 underdog Vernon Forest, a relative unknown, was unbeaten as a professional, but better known for having dealt Mosley his last amateur defeat 10 years ago. It took only 4 minutes for the storyline to coalesce. Early in round 2, the boxers' heads collided. Both fighters came out of the collision dazed, but within seconds, it was Shane Mosley who was sent sprawling to the canvas for the first time in his career.
Mosley is in huge trouble. Huge trouble.
He has never had to deal with this kind of adversity in a professional prize fight.
Each man relied on his own distinctive style. Mosley believing his quickness would easily compensate for a reach disadvantage. Forrest using his jab and straight right hand to beat Mosley to the punch.
Shane Mosley has never been hit this much and this cleanly in a prize fight.
Mosley's game. Mosley's strong. He's met his match.
What a great performance by Vernon Forest.
Despite his record, Vernon Forest hadn't previously been placed in that class. Tonight, a chance to validate his new status as one of the world's best pound-for-pound fighters. For Shane Mosley, tonight brings a chance for redemption. Can Mosley, as 2 other Sugars before him have done, respond to a loss by bouncing back and restoring his identity as one of the world's best?
In Vernon Forest and the man he overwhelmingly decisioned in January, Shane Mosley. Boxing has become a popular attraction here in the city, better known for its speedway, and fans here all know the deal. It's a half a year since Vernon Forest's devastation of Shane Mosley. Sugar Shane, as you saw, was knocked down twice, thoroughly beaten up in losing a unanimous 12-round decision. So has Mosley made a mistake in demanding Forrest as his first fight after that loss? We'll know the answer to that high-stakes question later on tonight. Waited for, as you have, for only 6 months, because Shane Mosley suffered the first defeat of his professional career and lost his perch atop the pound-for-pound mythical rankings when Vernon Forest destroyed him over the course of 12 rounds in New York. Now Mosley says he can turn that completely around. Before they do it, let's look ahead to some upcoming programs here on HBO. We are back in Indianapolis, Indiana, and almost set now for the main event. On this weekend of Black Expo Indiana, 32nd annual renewal of the event. A huge crowd in downtown Indianapolis, and one of the marquee events is the rematch between the man who used to be known as the best pound-for-pound in boxing, Shane Mosley, and the world welterweight champion, Vernon Forest, who shocked the boxing world with his conquest of Mosley back in January.
In most instances, a fighter has a single focus, to be world champion. But Vernon Forest has a second major endeavor called Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child Incorporated is a therapeutic group home. We house people with mental disabilities, give them opportunity to be integrated back into society. Most of the people that we have in our group home come out of Georgia institutions, mental institutions.
Some of them come to us unable to talk, some of them are unverbal. Our goal and our job is to make sure that they're not institutionalized anymore, that they're able to be with everyone else in, as we call, society.
Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down.
For the most part, I rarely even talk about boxing to them. I just get them up every morning, I just make them do calisthenics. And so I started showing them shadow boxing and stuff. All of them got, mental issues. So one of them, he said, "This is how you do it," and swung it in my face. I'm not teaching nobody how, boy, no more people how to box around here.
Destiny's Child was begun by Forrest and his partners in 1997, after they had volunteered at another similar agency.
I said, I think y'all can do better than what y'all doing. And they said, well, if you think you can do better, then do it yourself. And that's what I did.
We based our agency on a family setting.
And they know that we care about them. They call us Uncle Vernon and Auntie Toy.
It seems contradictory. The champion spends half his time fighting, trying to knock people down, and the other half helping people with developmental disabilities to stand on their own 2 feet.
I've been mean all my life. I grew up hard, man. I'm a mean person. You know, I've been mean. You know, you know how to turn it on and turn it off, like a light switch.
Well, when he's with people at Destiny Child, he's compassionate, understanding, patient, pretty much like a father figure.
Somebody can play guitar. I'm like on cloud 9 because, you know, what you're doing is not in vain. It would be just like if you're a parent and you teach your child something and your child actually do it, you're just proud. For example, Mike and Darius, they graduated from high school, but they had their prom. So we were in a limousine for them. They had their little date and they had their little tuxedo on. And I was like, man, you know, y'all looking sharp, you know. So I didn't get a chance to go to the prom, so, you know, I was kind of reliving it through them.
When John Love came to Destiny's Child 3 years ago, he was nervous and shy. Now he works as a custodian at Coca-Cola and is almost ready to live on his own.
He know how to write his own check, know how to balance his checkbook. So he's doing well, you know. Hopefully one day he'll let me borrow some money. He's one of the people that just let me know that anything is possible.
Someday Vernon Forest will surrender his welterweight championship of the world. But what he has accomplished outside the ring is indelible. And in their own way, the beneficiaries of Destiny's Child have shown Forrest the way to real success.
Making my boxing better. It's taught me a lot. Working with clients, it's taught me patience. You know, the people always wonder, you know, why it took so long for my career to take off, and I'm not bitter about it. I've seen what patience can do for somebody. I mean, I work with people, you know, take them about an hour, 2 hours just to tie their shoestring. You know, so just because I'm not getting a fight, that's no big deal.
In January, the week before the Super Bowl, round 1 was what many had expected. Mosley was a 7-to-1 betting favorite in the fight. And in round 1, he seemed quicker, more explosive, rocked Forrest back with that combination, won the round on all 3 judges' scorecards. So Mosley had reason to be confident as they went to round 2. But a sudden turn of events, shortly after the beginning of the round, the 2 fighters' heads came together. Forrest was clearly partially dazed. Mosley saw blood, his own, for the very first time. And less than a minute later, Forrest began raking Mosley with the series of right hands that would become the key storyline in the fight. 2 big right hands to soften up Mosley's chin, then a rocket of an uppercut that snapped Mosley's head back, and suddenly Shane was on the canvas for the very first time in his professional career. As the round came to a close, Mosley went to the canvas a second time. He showed great grit and determination in fighting his way out of the 2nd and 3rd rounds. Then as Mosley tried to fight his way back into the fight through the next several rounds, Forrest was able to reduce him to 1 punch at a time, sometimes by holding Shane after Mosley would connect with the first punch in a sequence. In the 10th round, a vicious body shot from Forrest doubled Mosley over. He later said it hurt him more than any punch he has ever felt in a fight, and that effectively blunted any chance that Shane would have to come on and beat the longer, more efficient jabbing